Impeachment Article 12, improper use of the pardon power and interference in ongoing criminal investigations that are linked to the President, a possible violation of U.S. v. Nixon, prepared by Free Speech for People. Abusing the pardon power through the broad pardon of January 6 co-insurrectionists. In his conduct of the office of President of the United States, Donald John Trump, in violation of his constitutional oath faithfully to execute the office of President of the United States and, to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, has abused the pardon power and undermined due process of law, in that 1. He granted full, complete and unconditional pardons to more than 1,500 co-insurrectionists who participated in the assault on the Capitol on January 6, 2021 and commuted the sentences of additional insurrectionists, all of whom participated in the January 6, 2021 insurrection which Trump himself incited. Pardons or sentence commutations were granted to insurrectionists who breached the U.S. Capitol, vandalized the Capitol and individual offices, committed violence against law enforcement and journalists, and orchestrated the violent insurrection, including to insurrectionists found guilty of seditious conspiracy. The pardons have been broadly applied to other crimes committed by the insurrectionists, including possession of grenades and other unlawful weapons and a classified military document. 2. He directed the DOJ to dismiss all criminal cases pending against defendants charged with crimes stemming from the assault on the Capitol. 3. He fired FBI agents and approximately 24 DOJ prosecutors, all of whom were nonpartisan career public servants, who investigated or prosecuted criminal cases stemming from the January 6, 2021. Kerry Johnson, Trump offers long-promised pardons to some 1,500 January 6 rioters, NPR, January 20, 2025, Ellen Feuer, Trump grants sweeping clemency to all January 6 rioters, New York Times, January 20, 2025, Kyle Cheney, DOJ says Trump's January 6 pardon covers man convicted of possessing grenades, classified info, Politico, February 25, 2025. For 4 years, impartial, nonpartisan investigators and prosecutors carried out meticulous investigations in the events of and surrounding January 6, compiling incontrovertible evidence regarding the crimes committed that day and their perpetrators. These crimes include the violent assault of 140 law enforcement officers with bear spray, axes, baseball bats, and flagpoles wielded as weapons. One law enforcement official suffered 2 strokes and died after being sprayed with pepper spray, another suffered a heart attack and traumatic brain injury. More than 140 law enforcement officers were injured while they protected members of Congress, their staff, the Vice President, and the Capitol itself from an insurrectionist mob. January 6 related criminal cases were presided over by nonpartisan, impartial judges and, where defendants did not plead guilty, given over to impartial juries of the defendants' peers for final determination of the facts. The issuance of blanket pardons, the dismissal of pending January 6 cases, and the retributive termination of FBI and DOJ employees for carrying out their duties has undermined the independence of the FBI, the DOJ, and to the judiciary. It has undermined efforts by multiple agencies to address and prevent violent extremism. Moreover, by blocking the DOJ from prosecuting ongoing cases and by blocking courts from hearing these cases, Trump protects himself from facts and allegations relating to his own role in the January 6 insurrection. In all of this, Donald John Trump has acted in a manner contrary to his trust as president and subversive of constitutional government, to the great prejudice of the cause of law and justice and to the manifest injury of the people of the United States. Wherefore Donald John Trump, by such conduct, warrants impeachment and trial, and removal from office.
The abuse of the pardoning power, Article 12, which deals specifically with Donald Trump doing one thing that I was concerned with from day one, from November, and actually before, is that Donald Trump would violate U.S. v. Nixon if he ever entered office. U.S. v. Nixon was when Nixon destroyed the tapes. You see, that's what was going to happen. That's one of the main things that brought him down. Nixon used the power of the presidency to destroy evidence in criminal matters that involved himself, which is what a criminal will do. It's one of the many reasons why a convicted felon should never be permitted to hold public office, because a convicted felon holding public office will likely utilize their office to destroy evidence, or in the case of the abuse of the pardoning power, utilize the position of the pardoning power to turn witnesses, instead of witnesses for the prosecution, into witnesses for the defense, by basically saying, I just saved your butt, you're going to say nice things about me. Or also what Trump did, attacked cops who were investigating him, attacked lawyers who were investigating him. These are all things that convicted felons would do and will always do, because they know that they're committing more crimes, and therefore they're going to utilize the power of the presidency to protect themselves. So Article 12 needs to be enforced, but the key portion that it should be enforced is enforcing the DOJ's 2006 opinion on collateral consequences upon conviction should be basically what we're seeing. This is what a convicted felon will do. They will continue to act illegally. They will continue to act unconstitutionally, because the Constitution is their enemy and the legal system is their enemy, and they're going to use the power of the presidency to cover up more of their crimes. That's all. And that's what U.S. v. Nixon was all about. The problem is we don't learn even from that fairly recent history. The best way for us to learn that is to impeach Donald Trump, and most importantly, to possibly go to court to hold that Trump is not constitutionally viable. Now, the only people that can do that are attorney generals. But we as citizens should seek these impeachment clauses and see what we can do as individuals through benevolent actions, 18 U.S.C. 242, to enforce the protections of a tyrannical government against ourselves by standing up as people whose rights are being violated. And in these particular cases, where I don't know how these would be used, but these are very important issues for us to examine, and Trump should be removed because he is using the power of the presidency to interfere with cases that bear his name. Thank you.